I never imagined things would fall apart like that. One moment I was brushing him off, calling him too sensitive. The next he was zipping up a suitcase, walking out the door like I was a stranger he'd outgrown. My name is Emily. I'm 27 now. If I could rewind life to change just one decision, it would be the night I stood up for someone who didn't deserve my loyalty at the cost of someone who truly did. It all began a couple of years ago on a lazy Sunday morning. I was late to brunch as usual. By the time I arrived, Noah was already halfway through his second mimosa. He looked up and made a joke about how even being late suited me. That was Noah. That had always been his way. We'd known each other since high school. He'd seen all my messes, my breakups, my impulsive nights, my reckless moments. We'd kissed once or twice, but it was never anything serious for me. He was the one I turned to when everything else crashed. We had this rhythm, a habit of sending each other memes in the middle of the night and leaning on each other when the world felt too loud. Then Jacob entered my life. Quiet but solid, thoughtful, my reckless moments grounded. He wasn't flashy, but he had this calm way of making everything feel like it made sense. He was a civil engineer who could talk about infrastructure like it was romantic literature. We met at a wedding. He accidentally spilled red wine on my dress and apologized like he'd insulted royalty. That awkward moment somehow became a dinner, and that dinner bloomed into something steady, something beautiful. The first few months with Jacob were magical. He remembered the way I liked my coffee, surprised me with flowers on dull weekdays, held me without judgment when my past caught up to me. He embraced my baggage and never once made me feel like I was too much. Even when it came to Noah, he tried to be accepting, but Noah didn't make it easy. He mocked Jacob behind his back, calling him things like Mr. Spreadsheet. He'd tease me, saying he'd always be my real number one. I'd laugh it off, maybe a little too easily. Jacob, for the most part, stayed quiet, but I saw it in his eyes. He was unsettled. He would ask softly, "Was there ever something real between you and Noah?" I'd wave it off with a chuckle. "Don't be ridiculous. It's just a friend." But then the late-night messages started again. Inside jokes, references only we would understand. Callbacks to that one summer night we never really talked about. I started silencing my phone, turning it face down. I told myself it was to avoid pointless arguments. But in truth, I was hiding, and I knew it. It all started to fall apart the night I lied. Jacob's birthday was coming up, and I told him I had to stay late at work. Instead, I was at Noah's apartment. We watched a movie. Nothing happened. No kissing. No touching. But at one point, Noah leaned in and whispered, "I miss how things used to be," that stirred something in me. Something uncomfortable and selfish. The next morning, Jacob made pancakes, kissed me softly on the forehead. I stood there drowning in guilt. I wanted to come clean, but I didn't. I buried the truth. I told myself it wasn't cheating, but it was betrayal all the same. 2 weeks later, Jacob looked at me with eyes that didn't need to ask anymore. "I love you," he said. "But I need you to block Noah, not to control you, but because it feels like he's always here with us. And I'm tired of feeling like I'm competing for a place in my own relationship." I laughed, dismissed it, told him he was overreacting, called him insecure. I tried to turn it into a joke. He didn't argue, just nodded, stood up quietly, and began to pack. So calm, it was that calmness. That frightened me most. I panicked, I begged, I yelled, I sobbed. None of it changed anything. He wasn't angry. It was done. Before he left, he looked at me and said, "This isn't just about Noah. It's about how you treated me for trying to draw a boundary. Like I was weak for asking, like I was the problem, but I'm not." And then he walked out. No slam door, no dramatic goodbye, just silence. That night, Noah came over. I thought it might make me feel less alone, but he barely looked up from his phone, didn't ask if I was okay, didn't stay long. And in that moment, I saw everything clearly. Noah had never been my safe space. He was just a distraction, a thrill. And the moment there was no secrecy left, the spark vanished. So did he. A month passed. No messages from Jacob. I sent him a long email, poured everything into it. My regrets. My apologies, the truths I hadn't been brave enough to say. He never replied. Through a mutual friend, I heard he'd moved into a new place, started going to the gym, posted a photo smiling with his sister's dog. Meanwhile, I unraveled. I cut off contact with Noah, deleted our conversations, started going to therapy. Faced all the parts of myself I'd ignored for too long. 9 months have gone by. I'm seeing someone now, slowly, carefully, taking it step by step. But I still think of Jacob, not out of a longing to win him back, but out of a deep respect for the kind of love he gave me, a love that wasn't afraid to draw lines, a love that asked for mutual respect, not submission, love that knew when to walk away. I used to think blocking someone was childish. Now I understand. It's not about erasing people. It's about protecting. Peace. Choosing yourself. Recognizing that sometimes love means letting go and staying becomes self-destruction. Jacob didn't walk away because he gave up on me. He walked away because he finally chose himself. And that's the kind of strength I aspire to.